All right, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to make it as simple as possible, okay? Here we go. When you were born into this quantum matrix simulation, or whatever you want to call it, and quantum physics is a math-based system, all right? So that might scare some people off, but don't worry about it. You don't even need to know anything about it. You were born and you had environmental things called stimulus that happened to you. You can think of them, as far as your life goes, as an equation, and different variables make the equation have an outcome. You can also think about it as ingredients. You were born, different things happened, your parents were a certain way, your caregivers were a certain way. Those are all ingredients. Those are all variables. So you create reality based on those ingredients and variables. So it boils down to, and this is an oversimplified example, but right now you decide, well, I've been making potato salad every day for the last 40 years, and I want some pancakes. Well, you don't know how to make pancakes. You don't have the ingredients for pancakes. You only know how to make potato salad, and you only have the ingredients for potato salad. Therefore, you are collapsing your quantum wave in the quantum based on your variables and ingredients. That's it. That's all you're doing. Now, when it comes into play here and it gets a little bit more in depth, is when you decide you want pancakes. Most people are like, I want pancakes, I want pancakes. I'm visualizing the pancakes, I'm visualizing the pancakes. Well, your brain says, that's great, but we don't know what ingredients those pancakes have. We don't know how to make those pancakes. And that kind of looks scary. And your nervous system's like, whoa, what if those ingredients aren't safe? Whoa, whoa. And I'm not sure I believe that I can make pancakes, or I can even go out to the store and buy the ingredients. So that's when you have to start learning things, taking action, and examining whether you actually believe that you are allowed to have pancakes, that you can cook pancakes. It's pretty simple. If you don't know how to cook, you're going to keep ordering Uber Eats. You're going to keep creating the same reality out of what you know. That's how it all works. It's pretty simple. And when you decide you want pancakes, you need to start going out and getting the ingredients for them. And then your nervous system is like, whoa, we don't know where that store is. That's kind of scary. And that's when you need to get up off the couch and not collapse back into staying at home. These are metaphors. And go to the store, even though it's a new route, even though it's scary to your nervous system. You finally get to the store and your nervous system's like, hey, we did that. That's not so bad. That's metabolization. Then you start walking through the store. That's called action. And then you start looking on your phone as to what ingredients you need for pancakes. That's also action. And then your nervous system and your brain are like, ooh, new variables, new inputs. We can actually do this. And it keeps metabolizing more. And then you buy the ingredients and you're like, okay, I can do this, I can do this. But then you got to drive back home and your nervous system's like, whoa, are we sure we can drive back home? And then you do. And then your nervous system's like, yeah, we did it. So all of that is based on your belief system. If you believe you can actually drive to the store, if you believe that you are capable of looking up the ingredients and buying them and then going home and making them, that's how reality works. It is a slow progress or a fast progress, just depending on how you feel about it. If you're like me, I'll get in the car and I'll drive right now and I'll pick up all the ingredients right now and I'll cook those pancakes until they come out. But that's me. You may not have that, and that's okay. You want to expose yourself slowly, but the whole point of this is that it's basically you're just creating things over and over and over in your reality based on your environmental stimulus, which are variables, which are ingredients. You can't create pancakes if all you know how to make is potato salad, and the only ingredients you have is for potato salad. When you want to create pancakes, or when you want a new thing in your life, or when you want something else, you gotta get different ingredients. And that can be scary. and your nervous system and your thoughts are going to go wild trying to protect you, but you've got to push past that slowly so that you don't collapse back or burn yourself out, but continue to do it over and over and over again. Consistency is how you win. I mean, think about when you rode a bike, when you started learning to ride a bike. Did you fall? I know I did. But did you get back up and keep going? Yes. It's the same. It's literally the same thing. You can't wish to ride a bike if you don't have a bike. And you can't wish to ride a bike if you don't know how to ride a bike. So you've got to take action so that you are giving yourself new variables and new ingredients from which to create the reality that you want. It's literally that simple. Where people get hung up is because it's scary, because they have underlying belief systems that says they can't do it, or they've had critical parents that have made them believe they can't do it, or they have had learned behavior where they feel like they can't do it. And learned behavior is just another ingredient. And in order to change it, you rewire your brain so that your brain says, okay, and you say, okay, I can actually do this. Okay, I can actually make this happen. I am worthy of this. And you know how you feel worthy of it? You don't just say it. You got to feel it, and you got to think about it, and you got to tell yourself that. And if you don't believe it, and when you do it, you're going to feel some resistance. Like, oh, that's not true. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge the bad thoughts that come up or the negative thoughts. Acknowledge all those things because those are just old programming. And of course you feel that way. All you've had are the ingredients to make potato salad. So you're going to feel that way. So then you just tell yourself, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I love you. I love me. And we can do this. Of course we feel that way. Acknowledge, validate, and then go to the store and buy the ingredients to make pancakes. It's an oversimplified explanation, but it needs to be that simple because that's how it works in the quantum. It's literally a math equation. And people want to break it down in the science and they zoom in and they're like, and then it becomes so overcomplicated when it's really simple. You cannot create pancakes when you only know how to make potato salad and you only have the ingredients for potato salad. Love you, mean it.